Good evening, everybody. I know it's a little bit early, but it's still Let's Talk. And yeah, so probably taken people a little bit by surprise, perhaps, that it is a little bit earlier. But it's just at the moment I'm trying to do things the best that I can um, to to do the best that I can at the moment, really. So I'm still here at Western General Hospital, and my son is waiting for his operation tomorrow. And it's almost, hi Sophie, lovely to see you here. Um, and it feels as if I've almost set this whole process up and in advance to sort of talk to you about it while it's actually going on. So anyway, yeah, so we're running behind schedule a little bit. And hi Jessie, nice to see you here, even though you're only the other side of the car park. Um, so yeah, we're running a little way, a week behind schedule. So this is the 7 C's to keeping your normal, and it's sort of geared up to when you're feeling very anxious, when you're feeling very stressed, when you are feeling as if you're in the bottom of your change curve or at the very top of the pinnacle, on the edge, feeling as if you're going to drop off that edge. Um, and it's about how to keep your normal going the best that you can. Um, And so, yes, my life's changed very dramatically during the last 7 days because, yeah, this time last week, my husband and I were travelling up the M6 to get to Edinburgh as soon as we could. Hi, Sarah, lovely to see you here. And it is amazing, actually, how quickly you start adjusting to a new normal because, for example, at say, 6:30 in the morning, I would have been going out walking my dogs. But at 6:30, when we were up here a couple of days ago, and we got the camper van on the car park at the hospital, instead of walking my dogs, I would be going into the hospital and seeing my son and helping the nurses get him spruced up, and then doing some massage with oils and then some Reiki. So, and it's amazing how it becomes to feel very, very normal. But it's also, like the theme of today is C for courage. It also does take a lot of courage because it would be quite easy just to wallow in self-pity and feel sorry for yourself over what has happened and not do anything about it. But also the same for Pete as well, because you can hear the seagulls, they aren't half noisy here. And, it's taking him an awful lot of courage as well to sort of start to adjust. And he's working really, really hard at it. And just a simple thing of shrugging his shoulders like that, you can see the concentration in his face, like this. And I was just so impressed with him because just before we left his bedside, I rang his dad, put the phone to his ear, and he couldn't speak, but I was able to report back that Pete was shrugging his shoulders for his dad, and that was just because when his dad was here, he was going, "Come on, Pete, you get those shoulders moving and keep positive, and you've got to work hard, we can't do it for you." And so it takes courage to do it because he could just lie there and not do anything about it. And I know it's only been 7 days since the accident, but within a couple of days he was always working hard at it. And if you look up the word courage in the dictionary, it'll say bravery, it'll say boldness, and that's exactly what it is, isn't it? Because change is difficult. I mean, it's difficult for us, it's difficult for the family, it's difficult for all those friends out there. And I know there's a lot of friends out there, and I know that, it's really nice to see some of those friends on the call here now. And, it's about having to make the change so that you can do the best that you can do. Hi, Liz, lovely to see you here. And for some people, Pete is very motivated person, but for some people it's going to be very, very hard for them. And it's about perhaps looking at life in a different way, looking at themselves in a different way, so that they can come out of a different sort of a shell to start being the real them again. But it might have to be a different real them. Hi, Susan, lovely to see you here. So, all in all, we need an awful lot of courage in whatever change that we're making. If it's something severe like Pete, if you're on the outside like we are, or if it's a change that you're wanting to make, that it does take courage because it's different. All right, you want something different in your life. And whether that is a different job, whether it's a different lifestyle, whether it's a different relationship, whether you want to live in a different country, it's about taking the first step, and that courage is about taking that first step to where you want to be. And what I've been trying to put over to Pete is, all the things that I was taught when I started my life coaching, and my coach and mentor still says it to me, to keep me on the right track, is start with the end in mind. And so now for Pete and for anybody else wanting to make change is, what is your ultimate goal? And then just concentrate on one thing at a time. So baby steps, one thing at a time to get better. And so, for Pete, it's moving his shoulders, and showing us that he can move his shoulders. And then hopefully he'll have a new one thing to do. Because if we try and do too many different things at once, we're washing down the focus that we can put on it. So when people talk about, I'm great at multitasking, well, that's brilliant, but how well are you doing any of those things? So, is it better to do one thing a lot better instead of trying to do everything? We think we're being time effective if we try and do lots of things at once, but we might not putting the concentration in that we really need to do, or putting or taking out the enjoyment out of doing something. So we're washing that down as we go, and not appreciating things and not living in the present moment. So courage is a really, really important thing. And it might be that sometimes a lot of courage to say, I can't do that at the moment. Hi, Cheryl, lovely to see you here. Thanks for joining me. Sometimes it takes a lot of courage to say, sorry, I can't do that at the moment. I'm going to have to leave that. And then give them an indication of when you could do it. Because how many times have you started doing things and you thought, yeah, that's really important, but actually it isn't, and so it's the things that are going to give you the best outcome, the biggest outcome, that is going to be the best thing to start with. And actually that might be the smallest of the whole list of things that you've got written down. So it's about picking the one thing that's going to be the most effective for you in the change that you're trying to make, and really working out then how you're going to tackle the other jobs and at what stage you're going to tackle the other jobs. So that has just been a very small indication of what courage is. I hope it's made a bit of sense. my mind's a bit all over the place. And to be totally honest with you, all day I have been thinking about, do I really want to do this tonight? And so actually it's taken me quite a lot of courage to carry through what I set out to do this morning when I put the first post up. And it would have been quite easy for me to have said to my daughter, come on, we'll just go, I'll leave it. But I didn't want to, because I've got to carry on with a little bit of normality for me while all these other changes are going on. So if that's okay with you, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I will be on next Wednesday, but I don't know whether I'll be talking from Glasgow because Pete's moving over to Glasgow. Thank you, Cheryl, for congratulating me for being here. Hi, Amy. Lovely to see you here. And thank you very much, Sarah, for thanking me and for being brave, and lots of the kisses and hearts and things. So, yeah, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be from Glasgow next week or I'm going to be talking from my front room, as you've normally seen me. But next week, we're going to be talking about communication. And that actually has been hard today because I haven't been able to communicate with my son properly. And it's been very, very frustrating. And he's got frustrated because I can't understand him. And then I've got frustrated because he hasn't been able to understand me. And then we've both got a bit agitated. And then I get a really grumpy look, something like this. And then I feel really, really bad. But I'm doing the best that I can do. And that's all I can do for the moment. But thank you, Sophie, for lots of love. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and have a nice meal with Jessie, my daughter, and get a good night's sleep. And I will speak to you next Wednesday as nearer to 8 o'clock as I can. And thanks for joining me. Have a good evening and lots of love and have a good week. Bye-bye.